Today, we're opening up the file on a company that you've almost definitely used, but probably never even heard of, Fiserv. They're an absolute titan of finance, and they're hiding in plain sight.
Think about the last time you swiped a card, tapped your phone to pay, or even just checked your bank balance online. Yeah, there's a really good chance that Fiserv's technology was the thing making it all happen. They're one of the quiet giants of the financial world, and today we're going to pull back the curtain and see what makes them tick.
The best way to think about them is like the invisible plumbing of modern money. Seriously, from that little point-of-sale system at your favorite coffee shop, all the way to the deep core infrastructure of your bank, their tech is the engine that's just quietly moving money around behind the scenes.
And to really get your head around just how massive this company is, you got to see how their business touches pretty much every part of your financial life.
Okay, so Fiserv's empire is really built on two huge pillars. On one side, you've got their merchant solutions. You've probably seen their Clover devices, right? Well, they process payments for over 6 million businesses. But on the other side, they provide the core financial solutions. We're talking the foundational software for nearly 10,000 banks. This unique position, right at the crossroads of banking and commerce, is what makes them so powerful and so deeply woven into the fabric of the economy.
And let's be clear, this isn't some scrappy little startup. No way. Fiserv is a massive, publicly traded S&P 500 company. They are a core piece of the global financial machine, with the corporate headquarters and the sheer power to match.
Now, here's the thing. Fiserv is playing in a market that isn't just growing, it is absolutely exploding. The wind is at their back in a huge way. This right here is the engine behind all of it. The Fintech as a service market, which is basically just companies renting out their financial tech to other businesses, is set to more than double in just 4 years. We're talking going from $441 billion to over $900 billion. This isn't just some small trend, it's a global stampede toward digital everything, and Fiserv is sitting right in the middle of it all.
So the opportunity is massive, that much is clear. But to really understand what's going on with the company, we have to look past the shiny corporate image and get under the hood and look at the hard numbers from their own financial filings.
And, at first glance, the picture looks pretty good. We're looking at their latest SEC filing here, and you can see total revenue is up to $5.5 billion for the quarter. Net income is up too. So, by all the standard measures, Fiserv looks like a perfectly healthy, growing company.
But the income statement only ever tells you part of the story. To get the full picture, you have to flip over to the balance sheet. And that, my friends, is where the plot really thickens.
And this is what we find. While revenue is growing, something else is growing a whole lot faster: their debt. Just look at the line for total long-term debt. It has jumped from under $24 billion to over $28 billion in just 6 months. That's not a little increase. That's a huge injection of borrowed money.
Let's just pause on that number for a second. $28 billion. A figure that big, especially with interest rates where they are, it just begs the question. Why are they borrowing so much money? And is a strategy that's built on this much debt really sustainable? And this mountain of debt isn't the only potential red flag. When you start digging a little deeper, you find that market analysts and even people inside the company seem to be sending some pretty cautious signals. So here's a big point of concern. Clover, which is their star player and main growth engine, it looks like it's slowing down. A lot. The growth in payment volume, which is a super important metric for this business, has been cut in half. It fell from 17% growth last year to just 8% this quarter. For a company that's supposed to be a growth story, a slowdown in your main engine is a huge red flag for Wall Street.
And it's not just the data that's telling this story. This quote points out that a senior executive sold a huge block of shares for less than the market price. I mean, when an insider, someone who knows the company better than anyone, is willing to take a discount just to get their money out, it really can signal a lack of confidence in where things are headed. But hold on, don't count Fiserv out just yet. The company isn't just sitting back and watching this happen. Oh no, it's making big, aggressive moves to fight these pressures and get that growth story fired up again.
So what are they doing? Well, their main strategy seems to be to buy growth. They are on a shopping spree, acquiring other companies to get new tech and expand into new markets. The recent reels for CCV Group and Payfair are perfect examples.
One is to push Clover faster in Europe, and the other is to get bigger in embedded finance, which is all about putting banking services inside other companies' apps. And this right here helps explain that mountain of debt. They're using it as a war chest to buy their way ahead of the competition.
And beyond just buying companies, they're also building some really powerful partnerships. Their new team-up with the Pays digital wallet, which was launched by some of America's biggest banks, is a super strategic move. They're trying to secure their spot in the future of online checkout and keep everyone, both businesses and shoppers, locked into their system. So this is the puzzle of Fiserv, right? On the one hand, you have strong revenues and this dominant position in the market. But on the other, you have slowing growth and a staggering amount of debt. It all comes down to one massive question. When you lay it all out, you see two completely different stories playing out at the same time. Is Fiserv a financial fortress, a stable giant in a critical industry, smartly using its power to invest in the future? Or is it a house of cards, just masking its slowing growth with a bunch of risky debt-fueled acquisitions? So, what is it? Is Fiserv a financial fortress, strategically using debt as a weapon to conquer the future of finance? Or is it a house of cards, where one strong economic gust of wind could send the whole thing tumbling down? The answer is going to shape the future of a company that, whether we know it or not, powers our daily financial lives. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.